February 1st, 2022. Welcome, dear televiewers, to the 6 p.m. Prime News on Camdis Television. We begin right away with our major stories. Cholera outbreak have killed many people in the southwest region of the country. 2 people have died as a result of cholera in Boya, my 16 Bolifamber, in the southwest region of Cameroon. This information was made public by the Boya Health District Medical Officer in a communique released January 31st, 2022. Cameroon began observing Bilingualism Week this Tuesday, February 1st, 2022. In this newscast, we will be answering the question if bilingualism is bringing Cameroonians together. The French ambassador to Mali, His Excellency Meyer, is left with 48 hours to quit Mali following an order handed over January 31st by the military while he was answering a summon by the Mali Minister of External Relations and International Cooperation, Yves Le Drian Mbamako. We have details in a moment. Thanks for joining us. If you are just tuning in, this is the 6 p.m. Prime News in the English language on Camdis Television. Since Cameroon gained its independence in 1961, French and English have remained official languages in the country. It is true that certain Cameroonians say it doesn't matter whether you master the English language or French language. The most important is to see into it that they understand themselves together. Ruth Fonyong in the following report attempts to know if English and French is a unifying factor in Cameroon. Let's listen to her.
Bilingualism is the constitutional recognition of French and English as the 2 official languages of the country, equal in status and guaranteed promotion by the state. At unification in 1961, English and French became the 2 official languages of Cameroon as the country opted for the policy of official languages bilingualism. Bilingualism creates greater economic activity, job security, and job opportunities.
It is very advantageous for us because first and foremost, it brings us together, it unites us. And when we are united, we are able to develop our own country. And bilingualism too, again, will help us to be able to express ourselves in the 2 languages wherever we find ourselves. The world today is growing, is evolving, especially economically. And some languages are used worldwide for economic purposes, especially French, English, Arabic. Now, if we are able in Cameroon to express ourselves correctly in English and in French, it will help us out of the country.
Bilingualism is not all about speaking English and French, but adapting to one another's culture.
We have English teachers here, we have French teachers. They speak English, they speak French, but they are not bilingual. But they speak the language. They are not bilingual in the sense that they don't practice the cultural aspect of bilingualism. Bilingualism must not only be knowing how to speak French or knowing how to speak English, but can you respect English cultures? Can you respect French cultures? Those are aspects of bilingualism which are very important, more than speaking the language itself. There are people that cannot speak, there are francophones that cannot speak English, but the way they behave when they meet an Anglophone, you think that they are brothers, they are sisters.
The method of teaching lessons both in French and English has been adopted by most teachers.
Teaching children both languages is not that easy, but we are trying to do with it. For instance, when I'm teaching, I'm the English teacher in the classes. My class is a nursery, it's a bilingual class. What I do is, when I teach a lesson in English, the people don't understand, I take back the lesson in French. So I teach both French and English. For instance, if I'm teaching, like, for instance, an object, an apple, I will say this is an apple. They will look at it. They will say, en français, c'est la pomme. I say, oui, ça, c'est la pomme. And I'm going to appelle apple. So that's how we do to teach.
Bilingualism, a catalyst to social cohesion with the context of decentralization, is the theme for the 2022 Bilingualism Week in Cameroon. And as such, citizens are expected to work in that light.
This week, it will be marked by activities relating to the Bilingualism Week that is being observed in Cameroon. It is important to take a step and look at the kindergarten where these children are studying both English and French. Geraldine Nassé in the following report visited a kindergarten here in the nation's political capital and paints an image on how these kindergarten children are studying both English and French. Let's listen to her.
Aiming to provide a high-quality childcare in an environment in 2 languages is the system of education most schools are practicing in nurturing children, especially those in the nursery section. Bringing up these children in the knowledge of the 2 official languages at an early age is a way of getting them familiar with the English and French-speaking cultures as they grow. Making decisions, scoring higher on theoretical tests, and acquiring effective communication skills is what these bilingual children possess.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 10.
All in all, the bilingual system of education stimulates brain development and helps children to learn as they are able to think about their ideas in 2 or more languages.
A giant concert took place at the Rumde Ajer Stadium in Garoua on January 31st, 2021. These 2 mark activities that will be commemorating the 11th of February, that is the 56th edition of the National Youth Day that will be celebrated on the 11th of February. Bertrand Tita in the following report says this musical concert brought together national and international artists. Let's listen to him in this report.
The objective of this concert was in prelude to the official launch of the Youth Day activities on February 1, 2022 by the Minister of Youth Affairs and Civic Education, Monona Fotso. It was also a question of highlighting living together and cultural mixing through the performances of artists from all 10 regions of the country and even from the diaspora. These included, among others, artists like Coco Ajante, Junel, Isnebol, Nyangono du Sud, Amina Paulo, Mix, among others. It should be noted that this concert was an initiative of the National Youth Council of Cameroon.
Celebration of the National Youth Day, it was very important for us to come and celebrate with the young people of the North region of Cameroon, in particular the young people of Garoua, who come together with us, the young people of the Cameroon National Youth Council, who organized this concert under the high patronage of the Ministry of Youth and Civic Education. And it was important for us to bring those artists and also for them to come and raise their voice in order to sensitize the young Cameroonian for the message of peace, for the message to fight against drug consumption, because it is the scourges that we should fight against.
Before holding the said concert, the Minister of Youth Affairs and Civic Education on the working visit to the North region first held a meeting with the young people of the said region.
Young Cameroonians of the northern region have enjoyed this concert, bringing our artists from the national level but also from the diaspora, and it was a beautiful party, and we are expecting the young Cameroonians to keep celebrating for the 11 next coming days in order for us to celebrate as wonderful as we can the National Youth Day of Cameroon coming the 11th of February. Thank you.
More than entertainment, it is a place to demonstrate national unity and living together to allow young school and non-school children to experience an exceptional moment of national unity in Garoua. The Minister of Youth Affairs also took advantage of the fact that it was at the Rumde Aja Stadium to extend its warm and sincere congratulations to all the young volunteers and stewards who, through their civic participation, have contributed effectively to the notorious success of the activities of the ongoing Continental Football Fiesta.
The population of Faro in the North region have been honored this 1st of February with the presence of the Minister of Youth Affairs and Civic Education, Monona Fotu. The minister went there to launch activities ahead of the 56th edition of the National Youth Day that will be observed in Cameroon on the 11th of February. We have more details with Ruth Fonyong in this report.
The population of Faro in the North region of Cameroon have been honored this February 1st by the presence of the Minister of Youth Affairs and Civic Education, Monona Fotu, in the launching of the 56th edition of the National Youth Day celebration under the theme Youth and Voluntary Participation in the Great Challenges of Cameroon. The ceremony brought together government stakeholders and local authorities who did not fail to sensitize the youth on the need for good citizenship.
Yes, I think first of all it's an activity of communion with the youth of Poli, but also an activity of empowering these young people by giving them support, information for their socio-economic, harmonious socio-economic integration. That's why you have seen that there were many activities of trainings, building capacities, and support given to young people in this locality.
Through this official launching, the Cameroonian government have seen and known the actions that they will take to favor the youth of Faro in particular and those of Cameroon in general.
We had that opportunity to materialize this historic event by what we call a family meeting between some communities of Northwest and North region, particularly the Chamba people, who belongs both at the North and at the Northwest. And you know the context. So this meeting is a kind of celebration of the 11th February that was established to improve the unity of Cameroon, the reunification of Cameroon and the unity of Cameroon, and now the integration of Cameroon.
The 56th edition of the Youth Day will be celebrated in the strict respect of the COVID-19 barrier measures as instructed by the government. The event left both the government officials and the population of Faro in great joy.
We now talk health, where about 2 persons are reported to have died in Boya, that is in the southwest region of the country, precisely at mile 16, Bolifamba, after a cholera outbreak. The Boya Health District Medical Officer Ngong Mathias confirmed this in a communique that was made public yesterday, January 31st, 2022. Our reporter Bertrand Sita went through the communique and compiled this report for us.
The Boya District Medical Officer Dr. Ngong Mathias confirmed an outbreak in a communique released on Monday, January 31st, 2022, in which he called for caution. A female resident of Bolifamba who died at the Boya Regional Hospital recently is said to have manifested cholera symptoms, and post-mortem results proved she died of cholera. About 17 cases have already been confirmed at the Bolifamba Health Center, and health personnel at the facility say some of the cases are severe with common symptoms including vomiting and diarrhea. The outbreak started last Wednesday, January 26th at mile 16, and cases have been increasing in the past few days, with 2 more cases confirmed on Monday morning. Although the Boya Health District authorities are still to publicize information on the cause of the cholera outbreak, health officials at the Bolifamba have said the disease could be stemming from a local water source, Amen water, as it is commonly called. It is a popular spring water catchment in Bolifamba, which serves as a major source of drinking water in the community. At least 2 cholera cases have been confirmed around the area, and on Monday morning, the catchment was temporarily closed for fear of further transmissions. Meanwhile, Dr. Kung Matthias in Monday's communique said people should avoid roadside food, wash their hands after using the toilet, wash hands before and after meals, and eat safe raw food. The outbreak occurs just over 1 month since Doctors Without Borders raised awareness on the cholera outbreak in Ekondo Titi, Idinau, and Tiko, all in the southwest region of Cameroon. Many people are wondering where people, especially in neighborhoods like my 16, will get safe drinking water from, given the poor conditions of water in the neighborhood.
We now go to our religious page. Mass has been held at the Olembe parish to pay homage to the 8 people who died during the stampede of last January 24, 2022, during the march between Cameroon and the Comoros Islands. The parish pastor, His Lordship Jean Barga, committed the souls of the faithful departed. He also prayed that those who are receiving treatments or struggling to recover from this shock should get well very soon, and also said that he are praying that God should not permit such an incident to occur to the end of the AFCON 2021 that is ongoing in the country. We have more details with Dinase.
Following the stampede that occurred at the Olembe Stadium, leaving 8 people dead and over 40 injured on the 24th of January 2022 during the encounter between Cameroon and Comoros Island, a Thanksgiving Mass was held to pay tribute to the departed.
We came this afternoon to pray for those who lost their life because there was an accident near of the stadium of Olembe. We have prayed for them, for the eternal peace for them. We have prayed for those who are injured and now in the hospital. We have prayed for all the families who are suffering of these terrible events. We have prayed also for the place of Olembe this quarter, which is now an international one.
The Mass, which saw the presence of the governor of the Central Region, Nasiri Paul Biya, was led by His Lordship Jean Barga. It was an occasion for Christians to come together and pray for eternal rest, speedy recovery for those in the hospital and the families concerned to be consoled.
We want especially for this time, the time of the competition of African Cup of Nations. We pray God to bless this competition, to keep us in peace, and to do not permit again this kind of accident, and now and forever.
And what was the content of
hope, prayer, and faith in God, now, every time in the life. We call all the people around to be in compassion, to pray to sustain this competition, because we need a great success of this event for the honor of our country and the honor of all the Africa continent.
As it is often said, in every situation, give thanks to God. It is a blessing for Cameroon to have welcomed such an event as the AFCON. The Archbishop therefore hoped that the competition will continue in a serene atmosphere with no incident.
We now take you out of the country, where the Mali military junta has given 72 hours to His Excellency Joël Maillet, the French ambassador to Mali, to quit the country. This order was handed over January 31st, 2022, while he was answering a summon by the Minister of Mali, External Relations and International Cooperation, Yves Le Drian, in Bamako. We have details with Bertrand Tita.
The Malian authorities find it difficult to digest the remarks made about them by the French Minister of Foreign Affairs, Yves Le Drian, whom they considered contemptuous. Summoned yesterday by the Minister of Foreign Affairs and International Cooperation, The French ambassador to Bamako, Joy Meha, is asked to leave Mali within the next 72 hours. This measure follows the hostile and outrageous remarks recently made by the Minister of Europe and Foreign Affairs and the recurrence of such remarks by the French authorities towards the Malian authority despite the protests that have repeatedly been raised, explained the Minister of Territorial Administration, Colonel Abdoulaye Maiga, in a statement released on Monday. This decision by the Malian authorities illustrates the new dimension taken on by the tension between Paris and Bamako. France, which supported the violation of the constitution in Chad, supported Ouattara's unpopular third term in Côte d'Ivoire, feels invested with a mission to give lessons in democracy in Mali. While being firm, the Malian authorities would demand respect in turn to maintain the dialogue and pursue cooperation with all of its international partners, including France, but in mutual respect and on the basis of the cardinal principle of non-interference.
The African Union has suspended Burkina Faso from all its continental organizations following the January coup that led to the ousting of the president of Burkina Faso, Roch-Marc Christian Kabore. Developments of this and more in the following report with Rukfonyo.
South African authorities have announced that people who test positive to COVID-19 and show no symptoms are no longer required to isolate. The country has also reduced from 10 to 7 the number of days of isolation for those showing symptoms. According to a statement issued by the health authorities, there has been a substantial increase in the number of people with immunity against COVID-19. The announcement coincided with the reopening of schools this Tuesday and the removal of the 1 meter social distancing rule. South Africa has recorded more than 3.6 million COVID-19 infections and over 9,000 deaths, the highest on the continent. Confusion on Monday at the border between Uganda and Rwanda after last week's reopening announcement. The border between the two countries has been closed since February 2019. Rwandans, however, were complaining that they were not allowed to cross, while Ugandans were also reporting delays at the Gatuna border post. Even if the situation remains confusing, some welcomed the reopening. Trade between the two countries collapsed following the closure of the border in 2019 amidst mutual accusations of espionage and political meddling. Ugandan authorities informed that priority was being given to trucks and that both countries were working on COVID-19 protocols to be implemented.
That report brings us to the end of our 6 p.m. Prime News on Camdis Television. But before we go, a recap of our major stories. At least 2 persons have died as a result of cholera outbreak in Boya, Mike 16 Bolifamba in the southwest region of Cameroon. This information was made public by the Boya Health District Medical Officer in a communique released January 31st, 2022. Cameroonians begin observing Bilingualism Week this Tuesday, February 1st, 2022. In this newscast, we got to know about the importance of bilingualism and how it could contribute to bring Cameroonians together. The French ambassador to Mali, His Excellency Joël Maillet, is left with 48 hours to quit Mali following an order handed over January 31st by the military while he was answering a summon by the Mali Minister of External Relations and International Cooperation, Yves Le Drian, in Bamako. Thank you very much for tuning in. It's always been a pleasure. Do not go away. At 8 p.m., Desiree Bounet will be bringing you news in the French language. Have a wonderful week in the company of our programs.